You see, the moment a woman learns to detach, everything shifts. Not because she stops caring, but because she finally realizes her worth doesn't depend on how someone else feels about her. That's the moment she becomes magnetic. Men can sense it, that quiet confidence, that peace that says, I'm okay whether you choose me or not. That's not arrogance, that's power. Because detachment doesn't mean you don't love. It means you love yourself enough to let go of what doesn't serve you. When a woman detaches, she's no longer chasing. She's no longer begging for clarity, for attention, or for closure. She gives herself all that. And that right there terrifies some men. Because the truth is, many men are used to control being disguised as love. They're used to women proving, pleasing, and overgiving just to be chosen. But when you stop playing that game, when you stop chasing the energy that's not chasing you, suddenly the power shifts. The man who thought you'd always be there starts to question everything. He starts wondering why your silence feels louder than your words ever did. Why your absence suddenly echoes through every space he thought he'd filled with someone else. Because men are drawn to women who are centered, who don't crumble when ignored, who don't lose themselves trying to be seen. A detached woman is dangerous in the most beautiful way. She can love you deeply, but she doesn't need you to complete her. She can care, but she won't chase. She can listen, but she won't beg to be heard. That balance between love and independence is what makes her unforgettable. Because she gives what's real, not what's desperate. You ever notice how men always come back when you stop trying? That's not coincidence. That's energy. When you detach, you take back the power you've been giving away in anxiety, in overthinking, in waiting for someone to text back. You move different. You start glowing different because peace looks good on you. Because when you let go, you make space for what's meant for you to arrive. Men are naturally drawn to mystery, to challenge, to strength. And nothing is more powerful than a woman who's not afraid to walk away from what's confusing, what's inconsistent, what's half-hearted. A woman who can say, I'd rather be alone than be halfway loved. That's the kind of woman that keeps a man up at night, replaying every moment, wondering how he lost her. The truth is, detachment isn't about coldness, it's about clarity. You're no longer reacting to his every move, you're responding from peace. You're no longer waiting for someone to choose you, you're already chosen. And once you understand that, your whole energy changes. You stop chasing validation and start attracting respect, because real men, mature men, don't want to control you. They want to earn you. They want to stand next to a woman who knows who she is, who doesn't shrink herself to fit someone else's comfort. And when you embody that kind of self-respect, the right man doesn't run, he rises. So yes, men are extremely attracted to women who detach. Not because she's playing hard to get, but because she's finally hard to forget. She's not in a rush. She's not begging for potential. She's not trying to fix broken energy. She's too focused on peace, purpose, and progress. And when you live like that, the world and the right man can't help but notice. Detachment is misunderstood by most people. They think it means being cold, emotionless, or indifferent. But the truth is, detachment is love with boundaries. It's peace that refuses to be disturbed by someone's inconsistency. It's caring but not collapsing. It's showing up but not surrendering your self-worth in the process. When a woman learns that kind of balance, she becomes a force of nature. Men are drawn to that kind of woman because she's grounded. She doesn't beg for attention, she commands respect. She doesn't demand love, she inspires it. And she does it without ever raising her voice or chasing someone down. There's something magnetic about a woman who doesn't try to convince anyone of her value. She already knows it. Her energy says, I'm enough, take it or leave it. And ironically, that's when most men can't walk away. You see, men love the thrill of pursuit, but they also crave peace. A detached woman is both. She gives him something to admire and something to respect. Her calm confidence challenges him to rise to her level. She doesn't need to play games because she's not chasing an outcome. She's living in her worth. And men, whether they admit it or not, crave that energy because it's rare. Most people operate from fear, fear of losing someone, fear of being alone, fear of not being chosen. But when you detach, you stop living from fear and start living from truth. You realize that losing someone who doesn't value you is not a loss. It's alignment. You realize that peace is more valuable than attention, and that silence is more powerful than begging. That's when a woman steps into her divine energy. She's not desperate to be chosen. She becomes the chooser. She's not waiting for someone to define her. She's defining her own life. And when a man sees that kind of strength, he can't help but be drawn to it. Because she's not offering him chaos, she's offering stability. She's not offering him drama, she's offering depth. She's not chasing, she's attracting. And let me tell you something. When a woman truly detaches, everything she used to chase starts chasing her. The same man who ignored her texts suddenly can't stop thinking about her. The same people who took her for granted suddenly want her attention again. But by then, she's not the same woman anymore. She's healed, evolved, and grown. She doesn't crave validation, she craves peace. Detachment teaches you to trust timing. It teaches you that what's meant for you won't require confusion or begging. It'll flow naturally. You start to see red flags for what they are, not what you wish they could be. You stop making excuses for inconsistency because your peace matters more than temporary affection. That's not being heartless. That's being wise. Men feel it when a woman detaches. They feel the shift. The tone changes, the energy changes, and the dynamic changes because she's no longer emotionally investing in potential. She's no longer reacting to mixed signals. She's no longer showing up where effort isn't reciprocated. That's when he realizes she was the one who brought the warmth, the care, the consistency. And when she stops, the silence hits different. A detached woman teaches through absence. She doesn't need to explain what she deserves. Her silence speaks louder than words. Her distance becomes her statement. And that's when most men start chasing, not because they've changed overnight, but because they finally recognize what they lost. But here's the catch: by the time they realize, she's already moved on emotionally. She's not waiting for apologies. She's building her peace. Men are wired to admire strength. They might be attracted to beauty, but they fall in love with strength. And emotional detachment is the highest form of strength a woman can show. It's her saying, I love you, but I won't lose myself for you. It's her showing that her life doesn't revolve around anyone's approval. That's rare. That's beautiful. That's unforgettable. There's something mysterious about a woman who isn't easily swayed. She doesn't post for attention. She doesn't compete for validation. She doesn't beg to be noticed. Her energy alone draws people in. She can sit in silence and still command a room. That's not magic. It's self-awareness. It's knowing your worth so deeply that you no longer need to prove it. And when you reach that place, everything changes. You start attracting people who match your peace, not your pain. You start drawing in relationships that feel calm, not chaotic. You stop mistaking chemistry for compatibility. You learn that love isn't supposed to hurt, and attention isn't the same as effort. You start valuing actions over words. And that right there, that's emotional maturity. Detachment doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you start loving differently. You love without expectations, without attachment to outcomes. You love because it's who you are, not because you're afraid of being alone. You give without losing yourself. You care without carrying the entire relationship on your back. And that balance, that sacred control, is what separates women who beg for love from women who command it. A man will never respect what he doesn't have to earn. When you give too easily, too quickly, he stops valuing it. But when you hold yourself to a standard, when you don't tolerate inconsistency, when you walk away from disrespect, that's when he starts to see your worth. And whether he admits it or not, he'll respect you more for it. Because deep down, men respect boundaries. They respect women who respect themselves. Every time you choose peace over drama, silence over argument, distance over desperation, you grow, you rise above the noise. You become the woman who doesn't chase love, she attracts it effortlessly. Because her energy says, I'm home, and that's what's irresistible. That's what's magnetic. The world tells women to chase, to prove, to compete. But real power comes from stillness, from knowing when to stay and when to walk away, from loving deeply but never losing yourself. And when a man meets a woman like that, he knows he's met something different, something sacred, something rare. Because men are not attracted to detachment out of confusion. They're attracted to it out of admiration. They see a woman who can stand on her own and still love fully. A woman who doesn't need them, but chooses them. A woman who doesn't beg for time, but values hers. That kind of woman doesn't just catch attention, she commands devotion. So when you learn to detach, understand this. You're not losing people. You're losing the ones who were never meant to stay. You're creating space for peace, growth, and love that matches your energy. The right man won't be intimidated by your strength. He'll be inspired by it. He'll see that your detachment isn't a wall, it's a filter. It keeps the wrong ones out so the right one can find his way in. Because a woman who detaches isn't heartless. She's healed. She's no longer chasing what confuses her. She's choosing what brings her peace. She's not trying to be needed. She's ready to be valued. And once she reaches that level of peace, no man can ever manipulate her again. That's why men are extremely attracted to women who detach. Not because she plays games, but because she's mastered herself. She's not trying to win him over. She's trying to protect her peace. And when a man sees that kind of strength, that kind of stillness, that kind of love that doesn't come with fear, he knows he's looking at the kind of woman who doesn't just change his life.